My dear sisters and brothers in Christ, the gospel reading of today helps us to ponder and reflect on some of the most difficult challenges Christianity poses to all of us. Maybe I want to begin by asking some few questions. What do you do if your father tells you to violate the gospel? What do you do if your own brother helps you to cooperate in doing something that is shameful, something that is evil? How do you respond when you are betrayed by your family member because of your own faith? When they even say, let him die because of what he or she believes in. Today's gospel reflects the experiences of the early Christian community, if we read the Acts of the Apostles, and even our own experiences up to now as Christians. Jesus says, you are sent like sheep among wolves. We are in a way defenseless because we renounce any use of violence. We do not use violence as Christians. Violence has never been the way to solve solutions and problems. And yet, we are reminded that there are wolves out there eager to destroy the sheep. Because despite our message of love, of justice, of peace, of reconciliation, we can be seen as threats, causing havoc to the ambitions of other people. And yet Jesus says we are to be clever as snakes and innocent as doves. We have to find ways of being creative and inventive in dealing with the world, and yet remaining innocent, overcoming all suspicion and wrongdoing. Jesus says, when they hand you over, like what happened to John the Baptist, we all know he was handed over. Jesus was handed over. They all died. And Jesus gives us his body. This is my body. He hands over himself to us. And when we receive the Eucharist each and every day, do we really know that we are actually receiving a reality that in one way or the other, because of our faith, because of our belief in non-violence, in love, in faithfulness, in honesty, in reconciliation, and in peace, in prayerfulness, we are also being handed over to a world of hostility, of violence, a world that will reject that message. These words are sad, but they are true. They can break families. They will lead to hatred. And yet our commitment to God, to love, to truth, to justice, to freedom, overcomes all those blood relations and all those friendships we have. Jesus ends by saying, when they persecute you in one town, flee to the next. We need to be clear that Jesus never tells us to go out of our way to seek persecution or to be hated. Jesus never says go out and cause havoc so that people will hate you. No. On the contrary, we are to invite people to accept the gospel. Christianity is an attractive religion. And we are to make Christianity as attractive as possible with the way we live our lives. We want people to share our experience of knowing and being loved by Christ. One of the reasons why the church spread so rapidly throughout the Roman world was precisely because of Christians fleeing from persecution. They went out of their way and they preached and preached. But the reality is there comes a time when we can no longer run further, or when it is clear we have to take a stand and cannot compromise. Sometimes in life, There are moments and incidents where running away does not solve anything, but taking a position is the right choice. Are we ready, or do we understand what it means to be Christians? Someone said to me some few days, so many of us grew in the church. We know the hymns, but we do not know Christ. When we know Christ, we'll face controversy and persecution, because the gospel of Christ is also a gospel of change, a gospel that calls people to change from where or how they live their lives. Are we ready for that change in the world?